The golden retriever wouldn't stop. 30 seconds of persistent pawing at a complete stranger's chest in gate C-14 at Denver International. The handler pulled back twice. The dog returned 3 times, whining, pressing his muzzle against the man's sternum like he was trying to dig through bone. "Ma'am, I'm fine," the stranger said, annoyed, brushing the dog away. "Please, control your animal." 4 minutes later, that same man collapsed on the terminal floor, his heart seizing in his chest, surrounded by screaming travelers and a service dog who'd known exactly what was coming. What happened next would save his life, expose a medical condition he didn't know he had, and reveal just how much these animals can perceive that we are trained to ignore. Before I tell you what that dog sensed, my coworker bet me $20 I couldn't break 100K subscribers by next month because, quote, nobody watches long videos anymore. He thinks you won't watch. Prove him wrong. Subscribe right now, and let's make him regret that bet. This is the story of Coda, Ramona Briggs, and the stranger whose life hung in the balance because one animal refused to be ignored. Denver International Airport hummed with the particular chaos of a Thursday afternoon, the churn of rolling luggage, gate change announcements crackling overhead, the smell of burnt coffee and recycled air. Gate C-14 sat at the far end of Concourse C, the kind of gate where people waited quietly, reading paperbacks or staring at phones. Among them sat Ramona Briggs, 51 years old, silver-streaked hair pulled into a practical bun. Beside her, lying in perfect position with his vest clearly visible, was Coda, 4 years old, 80 pounds of golden retriever with a cream-colored coat and dark amber eyes that tracked everything. Directly across from Ramona, 4 feet away, sat Vincent Gallagher, late 60s, salt and pepper beard. He had the weathered look of a man who'd spent his life outdoors. Vincent sat with his arms crossed, his jaw tight, breathing shallow in a way he didn't consciously notice. His chest felt heavy. It had felt heavy since breakfast, actually, but he'd written it off as airport anxiety or bad sleep. He'd ignored worse. At 67, a working ranch hand didn't call in sick for indigestion. Coda's head lifted, his nostrils flared, pulling in air in short, deliberate sniffs. Ramona noticed immediately. "Coda," she said softly. "What is it, bud?" The dog stood, his gaze fixed on Vincent. Then he took a step forward. A low whine escaped his throat. Not aggressive, not playful, urgent. Coda twisted free of her grip, something he'd never done, and crossed the space between them. He reared up, placing both front paws on Vincent. The man jerked back. "Hey, what the—" Coda pressed his muzzle directly against Vincent's sternum, just left of center, and began pawing. Deliberate, repetitive, almost frantic. "Ma'am, I need you to control your dog," Vincent said, his voice edged with irritation. Ramona pulled Coda back. "I'm so sorry, sir. He's never done this." Vincent waved her off, but his hand moved unconsciously to his chest, rubbing the spot where Coda had pawed. The pressure was still there, heavier now, like someone sitting on his ribs. "Sir," Ramona said carefully, "I know this sounds strange, but how are you feeling physically?" Vincent looked up. "I'm fine, just tired." "Any chest pain, shortness of breath?" "Lady, I said I'm fine. Your dog's the one with the—" Vincent stopped mid-sentence. His eyes went wide. I can't breathe." The words came out strangled. Then his body seized. He pitched forward off the bench, hitting the terminal floor with a sickening thud. Ramona was already moving. "Someone call 911. Tell them we have a male, late 60s, possible cardiac arrest at gate C-14. Ramona tilted Vincent's head back, checked his airway, then began chest compressions. Fast, hard. "Stay with me," she muttered. "Come on, stay with me." A TSA agent ran up with the AED. Ramona grabbed it, tearing Vincent's shirt open. The machine's robotic voice cut through the noise. "Analyzing heart rhythm. Do not touch the patient." Everyone froze. "Shock advised. Charging." Ramona pulled back. Clear. The AED delivered the shock. Vincent's body jerked violently. Ramona resumed compressions, counting, forcing blood through his failing heart until paramedics arrived. Vincent Gallagher woke up 18 hours later in a cardiac ICU bed. His wife, Lorraine, sat in the chair beside him. "You're alive," she whispered. "God, Vince, you're alive." His throat felt like sandpaper. "The dog," he rasped. "That golden retriever. He knew. He tried to tell me." Dr. Yosef Kamau entered. "Mr. Gallagher, you suffered a STEMI, a complete blockage of your left anterior descending artery, the widowmaker. Survival rate outside a hospital is less than 12%. Vincent stared. How did the dog know? "We're still learning how medical alert dogs do what they do," the doctor explained. "Current theory suggests they detect chemical changes in human sweat and breath. Before a cardiac event, your body releases hormones, adrenaline, cortisol, and your scent changes in ways imperceptible to humans, but obvious to a dog." "So he smelled it? My heart attack?" "Most likely, yes. That dog saved your life, Mr. Gallagher. Without his warning, you would have collapsed with no one prepared to help." 2 days later, Ramona arrived, with Coda walking calmly at her side. When Vincent saw the dog, his eyes filled. "Hey, buddy," he said, his voice rough. "Come here." Coda approached the bed, tail wagging gently, and rested his chin on the mattress. Vincent scratched behind the dog's ears, tears sliding down his weathered cheeks. "I'm sorry I didn't listen. I'm so sorry." Ramona smiled. "He doesn't hold grudges. He's just glad you're okay." "I've been ignoring symptoms for months. Men on ranches, we don't have time for doctors. I almost died because of it, and I would have if this dog hadn't refused to take no for an answer." Dr. Kamau appeared in the doorway. "Mr. Gallagher, we need to schedule a double bypass within the week. Your blockage was severe." Vincent nodded slowly. "Whatever it takes, Doc." After the doctor left, Ramona sat down. "Can I ask you something?" Vincent said. "Why do you need him? You have monitors." Ramona's expression softened. "I've had type 1 diabetes since I was 12. Monitors fail. Batteries die. Coda detects the drop 15 minutes before my monitor does. He's saved my life at least a dozen times." She looked down at Coda. "People think service dogs are a luxury. They don't understand that these dogs are medical equipment. They're the difference between independence and constant fear." 6 weeks later, Vincent met them at a small park near Ramona's apartment. He looked healthier, 20 pounds lighter, color back in his face. He handed Ramona an envelope. "This is for you, for Coda's training organization," Vincent said. "I did some research. It costs over $30,000 to train a single dog." Ramona opened the envelope. Inside was a check for $50,000. Her breath caught. "Vincent, It's not enough," he interrupted, "but it's a start. I want other people to have what you have. I want other stubborn idiots like me to get a second chance, because a dog wouldn't give up on them." Lorraine smiled, her own eyes wet. "We're also donating to the airport AED program, making sure every gate has one." Coda trotted back to them, tail wagging, blissfully unaware that he'd changed the trajectory of multiple lives. Vincent knelt down, slowly, mindful of his healing sternum, and wrapped his arms around the dog's neck. "Thank you," he whispered. "Thank you for not giving up on me." A year later, the story of Coda's airport alert had become a case study in veterinary journals. Dr. Kamau co-authored a paper titled "Spontaneous Cardiac Alert Behavior." The research helped secure federal funding for a pilot program training service dogs specifically for cardiac alert. Ramona continued her work as a hospice nurse, with Coda at her side. Vincent Gallagher became an advocate for heart health awareness in rural communities. "I was a walking dead man," he'd tell audiences. "I ignored every warning my body gave me because I thought asking for help was weakness. Turns out, the real weakness was my heart, literally. And if a dog hadn't been braver than me, I wouldn't be standing here." The truth is this: We've bred dogs for thousands of years to work alongside us, to protect us, to sense what we cannot. And in our modern world, where we've learned to ignore our body's signals, to push through pain, to prioritize productivity over survival, these animals are still doing what they've always done, trying to save us from ourselves. Coda didn't need a medal. He just needed someone to listen. The real question is, how many other warnings are we ignoring right now? Sometimes, salvation comes on 4 legs, with a cold nose and a refusal to give up. Sometimes, the smartest thing we can do is trust what the dog knows. If this story moved you, if it made you think twice about the animals we overlook or the symptoms we ignore, then do something about it. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. And if you believe these stories deserve to be told, that truth matters more than clickbait, then subscribe. Because every time you do, you're telling me that people who actually pay attention still exist. Let's prove we're not all too busy to notice what matters.